Today I'm going to be making some double teardrop earrings, and to do that I'm going to be using two simple techniques: making loops and opening jump rings. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Carol, and on this channel I show you how easy it is to make your own jewellery. Today I'm using blue and a colour I don't often use, yellow, to make these earrings. So what I'm going to do is walk you step by step through the process and talk about everything that you'll need to make these earrings. To make these earrings you're going to need some 6mm crystal glass faceted round beads. I have here 16 of the yellow and I've got 24 of the blue. As well as that, I've got some 6mm vacuum beads, and I've got 16 of those. These ones are white with an AB finish. I have 6 8mm jump rings and a pair of ear wires. As well, you're going to need some 20 gauge wire. In terms of tools, I'm going to be making my loops with my one-step looper. If you don't have a one-step looper, you could always use some round nose pliers. You'll also need some flush cutters, and you'll need 2 pairs of either chain nose pliers. I've got 1 pair of chain nose and 1 pair of flat nose here. So 2 pairs of pliers. The first thing we're going to do is make some loops in this wire. So I'm going to just take off a piece and cut it with my flush cutters. And I am going to make a loop in the end. If you haven't used a one-step looper before, I will leave a link in the description box below to a video I did all about how it changed my life, and you can watch that one and it'll go into absolute detail as to how it all works. So I'm just going to use my chain nose pliers here to make sure that my loop is really well closed, because I don't want it coming undone. And what I'm going to do is feed on 8 of my yellow beads. Just feeding them onto the wire. Now these earrings are quite large, and you could make them smaller by making them with 4mm beads, or you could cut down on the length of them if you wanted to by reducing the amount of loops, but we'll talk about that one in a little bit. Okay, so there's my beads on my wire, and I'm going to make a loop in this end. Now when you put your beads on and you want to make a loop in the other end, you make sure that you push it right up so that the beads are right close to that jaw of the plier. Now I'm just going to make sure that loop is closed properly as well. That's what I have. Now I'm actually going to use a little bottle here to shape mine, but you could use just shape it with your fingers if you like. I just find this really easy. So I've just got a nice curved piece, just like that. All right, now we're going to repeat that process, and we're going to put on 12 of the blue beads. I'm just deciding whether this piece of wire is long enough, but I don't think it is, so I'm going to cut a new piece, and I'll use that piece for my other yellow one. Now if you don't have a one-step looper, I will show you how to make a loop. So what I've got here is my beads, my loop on one end and my 12 beads on the other, and I'm going to take my wire, put my thumbnail in the against the top of the beads, and I'm just going to bend that wire over. Now I need about 1 centimetre of wire to make my loop, so I'm just going to trim that little piece off, making sure I hold both ends of the wire. Then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm going to tuck them there, just taking the end of the loop, end of the wire in the jaws of the pliers, and I'm going to twist away from me, readjust my pliers and twist some more. And as I said, I've got a video on how to do that in depth, so if you need help with that, you can watch that video, which I'll link in the description box below. So now I need to make that the right shape as well, and it's not too bad, just needs to be up a little bit on this side. And we're going to look at how we join which way we orientate the loops in a minute. Alright, so I've made those. Now I'm going to make my little links here. I'm going back to using my one-step looper here because it's quick. So I'm going to make a loop in this wire. And I am going to feed on one of my little vacuum beads, and then I'm going to make a loop in the other end. And I'm going to repeat that until I have 8 pieces, or 8 links, just like this. Now that I've got all my components done, I'm going to put them all together. So I'm going to add a jump ring to these 2 components and add a link as well. So I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to use a jump ring. Just holding the jump ring on the side, so the split is at the top with one pair of pliers and on the other side with the other. And I'm going to twist to open that. Now one thing you do need to be aware of is that your loops coming out of the circle or half circles need to be kind of at right angles to the beads. I hope that makes sense. But they both need to be going the same way, so just give them a twist so that they're both going the same way. And as you can see, I've destroyed the shape, so I'm going to reshape it again now. You can reshape it afterwards if it doesn't quite work the way you want it to. It doesn't want to go the right way for me. There we go. Alright, so now I've got my open jump ring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feed on both of those components. So the blue one, then the yellow one. And now I'm going to feed on one of my little links here. And then I'm going to close up my jump ring. All right. So that's what I have now. Then I'm going to repeat on the other side. Before I do that though, I want to lay it down and make sure everything's sitting right so that I get everything in the right place, because it's really easy to put a jump ring on in the wrong place or facing the wrong way. So just laying it down so that you can see what's happening really does help. And then I'm actually going to feed them on lying down as well. I'm kind of lying down. And even when I've got it on the jump ring, I'm going to check before I close it up. Just putting on my loop, link, and closing that up. All right. So now I've got my double teardrop or half circles at the bottom with 2 of the links, and I'm going to join 3 more links to either side. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to grab my loop on the end there, and this is the side that opens, so I'm going to hold it in the pliers, and I'm just going to support the bead between my thumb and my forefinger and twist down. Then I'm going to pop that one on. Now this is a really good time while you're doing this to make sure that all those loops are really well closed as well. And I'm going to repeat. Now this one isn't well closed, but that's okay because I'm going to open it and I can close it when I close it back up. Just just going to double check this one's closed properly as well, which it is. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat for the other side. Now I have my 4 links connected to my earring. All I need to do now is close up the top and add the ear wire. Now, as I was saying, these earrings are quite large. They are really quite long, and if you wanted to make them shorter, you could use 3 of these rather than 4. So you could leave off 1. Right, I'm going to take my jump ring, and just the same way as before, I'm going to open it. And I'm going to feed on both of those links there, the loops of the links, and I'm going to put on an ear wire. Then I'm just going to close that up. And there's your earring. As I said, it's quite long, and it would look amazing on someone with a really nice long neck, which I don't have, but it would be really cool on someone with a really long neck. So then we just obviously have to repeat it to create a second earring. So there's my pair of stunning double teardrop earrings. Do you like them? I think they're really gorgeous, and even though they probably won't look great on me because, as I said, I don't have a really long neck, but they look all right. Someone with a really long neck, they'd look awesome. Just fabulous. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this video today, and if you have, it would be really cool if you'd give me the little thumbs up, and also if you want to catch more of my videos, it would be wonderful if you would subscribe and never miss a thing. Also check us out on Facebook and Instagram, because we post pictures on Instagram all the time of things we don't necessarily do videos for, and we also run some Facebook competitions sometimes. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you again next week.